I'm Marley Major, and you're watching BraveHeart Women TV.
I'm Sherry Gaba, and you're watching BraveHeart Women TV.
I'm Cammie Haynes, and you're watching BraveHeart Women TV.
I'm Ellie Drake, and you're watching BraveHeart Women TV. Okay, good. Hello, everyone, and welcome to BraveHeart Women TV. I'm Ellie Drake, and this is your personal blossoming show. When you hear return on investment, what do you think of? We have been trained to see successful investment only as direct financial gain, which is actually based on a more masculine model. But what about investing in ourselves with the intention of increasing the value of our self-worth? With me to discuss this topic, we have management consultant and author of Exceptional Manager, Dr. Cammie Haynes, psychotherapist and author of The Law of Sobriety, Sherry Gaba, author of But Are You Making Any Money, Marley Major, and our special guest, founder of the Wise Women Network, Kiva Leatherman. So, how would you define a more feminine approach to investing?
It has to start with investing in ourselves. I think that women have learned the lesson that it's not about making the most on our money so that we can, at some point in the distant future, live the life we've always dreamed of when we can, finally retire after hoarding it all and socking it away and making the best returns. It's about living today and figuring out what the things are, what the activities or education or businesses are that we can invest in that make us thrive within ourselves and live our best life.
Okay, so self-worth as opposed to only net worth.
Yes.
And is self-worth the foundation of net worth?
Well, I'm looking at just living your truth and looking at that inner wisdom, that voice that tells you what's next, what do I do next, trusting that voice. Like Marley was saying earlier, men will make that next move. Right. They just will. Women are a little more, second guessing, not sure. I think it's how we're raised. I think it's the beliefs that we were raised with.
Even though it's 20.
For sure, sure. And it's the role models. What did our parents model for us? We need to find role models that really we watch them make that shift. That's what we need.
Right, and so much of it is, I think, that we're conditioned to look for external validation. It's just like, did other people tell you you were pretty? Did other people tell you you were smart? As opposed to, I'm pretty enough, I'm smart enough, regardless of what you think. That there's so much of that judgment that we start out with even as children.
So for me, investing in my self-worth is investing in myself in a way that makes me feel more inspired, in a way that makes me feel more uninhibited, in a way that makes me feel developing some sort of inner skill or outer skill that just brings me more pleasure. Now, if I were to go say that to a group of men sitting in,
They would not know what you're talking about.
They would not know that. And is it okay to have different views, masculine and feminine views on investment?
Oh, for sure. We should be using our left and right brain. Absolutely.
Yes. And I think we should be using our left and right brain both. And as Cammie was saying too, not just getting our cage rattled because waiting for this validation that yes, we know what to invest in, whether it's a course we want to take or a book, or invest in studying or whatever it's going to be, but really say yes, this is the right thing for me to do right now, instead of waiting for somebody to say, oh yeah, you should do that. Well, who cares what anybody else is saying?
And to stop intellectualizing those courses. I mean, I can't believe how many people I talk to that take this course and that course and this teleseminar, but they're not really living it. They're intellectualizing it.
So what's the difference between what's the difference between self-help or self-help or if knowledge alone was enough, the librarians of the world would be the richest people.
I'd be a bazillionaire by now if I had applied everything I learned in every one of those courses, as opposed to going, that's a good idea, and I'll get to that later when this other thing happens, or after I get permission from some unknown source.
There is this point too about where our brains just get too bloated, where you have just analysis by paralysis by analysis. You have too much information, and you cannot possibly make a decision. And there, you can always learn more and more and more, of course, but at some point you have to put it into action. And I think that's part of what this program is all about.
So what we're saying is to invest in your self-worth is not just to invest it so that you intellectually get it, is that
to live it.
To live it. How do you live it? I mean, what's the
it.
difference between intellectualizing and embodying?
Well, it's all about being mindful and being present, being mindful in everything you do. You started the conversation like that, being aware. You know, when you're totally aware, or if you're not totally aware, you miss those moments.
And
if you're
taking the
living
action too.
and taking the action,
Yeah.
but if you're living in autopilot and you're doing and you're doing and you're doing and you're not really being, you're going to miss the moment.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then when the moment shows up, though, taking the action and taking the next step. That's the difference.
And it's that next step, because if you
Right.
get challenged along the way or some obstacle comes up, you're like, ooh, well, I don't know, maybe I wasn't going the right direction. So
Right.
do you push through to see what's on the other side, or do you just step back and say, well, maybe I'll try it again another time?
It's fear. It's fear. You know, those saboteuring messages that we got to like move away from fear, get rid of that
self-talk.
fear.
I
That's
think for
right.
women, there has been, for whatever reason, a disconnect between self-worth and then having it, you know, we talked about having it lead to net worth. To have that happen, you have to figure out that process that's going to lead from what you know, from confidence and self-esteem, what you believe and what you trust, to indeed turning that to improving your financial situation or feeling that you have the ability to take that in the world and do something with it.
And you have to be patient. As much as we don't like the word patience and what it stands for, you know, if your self-worth, you are really developing your self-worth, not with the intention of, I'm going to invest in myself because I know that that's going to mean my net worth in 90 days. You know, let go of the expectations, and natural progression from self-worth to net worth. So being patient is important.
And being willing to accept mistakes, to say it's going to happen to everybody at some level along the way, and not be completely blindsided or undermined by that.
Yeah,
Just pick
and-
yourself up and keep on going.
And I just had a kind of like an awareness here, because as I was saying patience, because, you know, I've kind of fought patience for at least half of my life or more. And as I was just saying that, I felt this. I am worth it to allow myself time to progress from self-worth to net worth, or I'm worth the waiting or the patience that allows things to naturally develop. I'm worth it.
You hear people talking about success coming with grace and ease. And that's exactly what you just touched on, because when it can unfold in front of you, it does come with grace and ease. And yeah, it's not that it's not hard work. Certainly there's work involved, but it's not done with that grit or fear or I have to get something.
Not getting attached to the outcome.
Yes.
Not, you know, it's going to land the way it's going to land. I say this all the time. Where I was 30 years ago, I would have never thought I'd be here today. But it's the action and the purpose and the perseverance and the passion that brought me here.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about all these words that begin with self. Self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence. So for me, self-worth, the essence of self-worth is our ability to create. Our ability to create, which is connected to creating financial abundance as well. The essence of self-esteem is our ability to just be who we are authentically. Exactly. And the foundation of self-confidence is our ability to do. So when you're, yes, that was great. When you were
like right on that.
So really allowing all of those self dynamics to be integrated within you, so that you can be, do, and create.
Yes. And know that first word, know yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Know
You know,
yourself.
I mean,
And
it's
embrace
really
being a woman, and we do it our way. We don't have to do it the way men do it. Do it the way
So if
Thank
you're
goodness.
a woman and you decide to invest in yourself, and the only outcome is going to be how you feel about yourself and nothing else, and then you go home and you tell your husband, honey, I'm going to invest $6,000 in this thing, and the first thing he asks is, what's the ROI, return on investment? What are you supposed to say?
I can't speak to that because I have no husband at home, and the checkbook is mine. So I'll defer to other panel members.
to ask forgiveness than permission.
I would challenge the premise, which is, why are you telling your husband in the first place you're spending $6,000 on something?
Okay.
So that's where I would go with it. What does that have to do with anything? Like,
Telling them versus asking them, maybe that's the
Okay,
distinction.
so telling them versus asking them, and you do have to share. You know, if you're married.
yes.
Okay.
I think
It's being comfortable in their discomfort. If they don't like it, it's okay.
Well, I would say, honey, I'm going to be investing $6,000, and if he says, what's the return on investment? I'll say, happy wife, happy life.
Very true.
I think that was a line from a jewelry commercial or something.
I love it. I'm going to use that one.
And it's sort of, it brings us back to the point that, you know, as women, it is vital that we have our own financial resources so that we can make our own decisions and not feel that we need to ask permission of anyone to do the things that we know we need to do for ourselves.
And if you're going to share, not ask permission, but if you're going to share with your husband or someone that you're going to take a step toward investing in your self-worth, make sure your certainty about it far exceeds their doubt.
Yes.
Right.
So go with that energy, because that's also, certainty is a part of your self-worth.
Right. Absolutely.
Very good. That's our show for today. Remember, we love hearing from you, so don't forget to share your questions and comments in the BraveHeart Women discussion boards. In the meantime, be sure to go to braveheartwomencore.com and find out what the Core Inner Circle is all about. You can also access Kiva's exclusive video. We love Kiva, and that green is just beautiful. New ideas on investing for women in your Core member section. And finally, on behalf of everyone here on the show today, thank you for watching BraveHeart Women TV. And remember, be inspiration in action.